So he's got some spooky business going on against this woman. And her entire power is to turn that frown upside down. But twice. It's literally post-nut depression. And this brother took it all. He got touched by a ghost. But do you see his drip though? The chain, the cross, and the crepes. He said being depressed? Nah! That's my factory default settings! Oh my lord, she cannot believe this. And can you even blame her? I too would be absolutely dumbfounded if some dumbass invalidated my entire powers because they gaslit themselves into the infinite depression session. Every show has this kind of character. Meet Usopp, the professional sniper gaslighter in One Piece. What you saw before was but a tip of the iceberg because he has the power to gaslight the entire story. And it all started in chapter 23 in January 12th of 1998. From the moment of his introduction, he's already doing it. I have 8,000 followers, he says. Like where? The trees? The bush? Is this Macbeth? If you know, you know. But fast forward a couple of decades of gaslighting the story and bam, it's true. He does have 8,000 followers. And not only that, they all worship him like the divine being that he is. I mean, God Usopp is his name, so that's to be expected. And then in the next chapter, he gaslights his girl. And this ain't even his first time. He's been doing this. So he tells her that he fought a big ass goldfish whose dookie is as massive as an island, like this big. And what do you know? In the 18th of March 2000 on chapter 128, he manifested it. That's the power of gaslighting, baby. Genuinely, he's just too strong. But those are somewhat minor. See, there was this time where he not only manifested an island of dwarves, but then he went on to gaslight them as well. Alright, so technically, gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation, where you try to confuse them a little bit, you know, inflict that self-doubt debuff on them. But the thing is, these guys are stupid as hell anyway. They're just extremely gullible. Effectively, this is basically what happens when you multiply with two negatives. It becomes a positive, right? And that's how God Usopp came to be. What happened was that they landed on an island that my man prophesized way back when he was talking to his girl, right? And they get ambushed by the product of his manifestation. While the round table for Rule 34 is taking place here, Usopp's already on the job because the dwarves will believe anything that comes out of this creature's mouth. He somehow convinced them that he is the hero. But you see, Usopp is a living manifestation of finding out when you fuck about. Unfortunately, this time, he was on this end of the graph. But this is exactly why he found out that he's him. So technically, this was a happy accident. And I want to call this peak gaslighting. But by definition, there was no self-doubt and confusion on these guys. They really just believed it. So which means we have to go back to witness the absolute destruction of logical reasoning that was done by God Usopp. But before we do that, we have to go back to examine his humble beginnings. Flashback. See, this man went through several hardships in his life. His dad left to get milk temporarily. His mom also went to get milk, but permanently. And because he's lying 24/7, the one time he tells the truth, yeah, he almost sent the whole village to collect milk. Life hit him hard, and he found out the hard way. But the thing is, even when he gave up giving up. Case in point one. At this point in peak fiction, even though he wasn't who he would be, the bravery was still there, just behind all the cowardness. But to gaslight someone else, you must also be able to gaslight yourself. And that's what he does. Yeah, he might be thinking for an excuse to not fight. But remember, professional gaslighter here. And this is the pinnacle of gaslighting, the reverse gaslight technique. So the fight continues, and then Usopp uses his curse technique, followed by the Joestar secret technique. Watching the master at work truly brings a tear to my eye. So my man retaliates. He said, "You need to shower now." But the reverse gaslight technique isn't done yet, because it was all a ruse to get this man closer, to add the finishing touch by lighting him up. By the way, he still isn't finished. He gotta beat that meat again and again to make sure it doesn't get up again. Shortly after, in the next couple of arcs, this rat starts BMing because she thinks she's won. I mean, look at this man's nose. She almost turned Pinocchio into an honest man, and that's quite an achievement in of itself. But this time, but also like pretty much every other time, through sheer willpower, he gets his dusty ass out of the ground because this woman started chatting shit about Luffy in front of him. Now, if there's one thing you should know, do not chat shit about Luffy, especially if you're breathing the same oxygen that he is, because the rest of these guys will pull an Uno reverse card even if you've already won and pack you up. And that's exactly what happened here. Moving forward a little bit, oh no, he got caught lacking. The gang pulled up on him, took his lunch money, and when he went to get it back, they just left his body there, just out on the streets like that. Bruh, that is rude as hell. The levels of respect shown in here is off the charts. Absolute violation. This is actually so peak that it hurts to watch every time I watch this. But yeah, in the same arc, he manifests his alter ego, the Sniper King. Whether this is Usopp or someone else is a complete mystery. Even to this day, we still don't know. But what I do know is this is probably the best thing to happen to him, and thus we've caught up to this moment in the next arc. Remember when I was talking about the absolute destruction of logical reasoning? Yeah, it's about time for that. So let's get to it. End.
of flashback.
So after finding out that it doesn't work against him, she even starts to cheer for him. She told him to live, laugh, love. The basic white girl shit. See, the gaslighting's already started and he doesn't even know. So stuff happens here and there and they chase each other. She's running away from Usopp and Usopp's running away from this bear. But these two, they're running away for the same reason. This is advanced rock, paper, scissors right here. He can beat her, but he can't beat him. So she needs him to beat him so she can beat everyone else. And then we end up here. My man Usopp is getting beat. These Walmart Goten Ghost Kamikaze attack is too much for him. So once again, it's time for the reverse gaslight technique. To this day, we are 100% strong because it has a 100% success rate. And now it begins. So he revealed his true self by looking inside of himself to save himself from his other self. So he finds this woman's body and he shoots a marble bullet, I don't know what to call it, but it misses. You thought this was a normal bullet, but it was glue all along. So obviously she can't move. And then to follow up, he shoots something that releases these abominations into her bed. That's foul, bro, in her bed. She starts to freak out and shit, and to finish the job, he pulls out Mjolnir from his ass. It turns out that the hammer wasn't actually Mjolnir, but instead it belonged to the wacky wavy inflatable tube man. I feel like I missed a couple of words there. But anyway, this man put her into a genjutsu fueled by gaslighting. And that's that. It's game. Why did she think he had that big of a hammer inside of him anyway? Absolute destruction of logical reasoning. What else can I say? And that's Usopp, the professional gaslighter in One Piece. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Bye.